What's going on, YouTube? I just wanted to stop in and say hello. It's really hard to find time to make some videos. Let me tell you, I don't know how some people do it. Um, I am in, where am I? I'm in Idaho, Boise, Idaho. My first drop today. So this is my quick tip for the day. All right. I've touched on it a little bit before. Sorry, I'm getting I'm being live loaded right now, and they're putting some really heavy packaging shit in there. I had to do all this fancy stuff to the wheels and undo this and attach that. And I see why now. They're trying to push this damn truck right out there. Which, by the way, I got kudos on my driving skills. Um, I'll touch on that in a minute. So, when you get your loads, and oh, real quick, thank you to all of the people that are going out to Swift. And even if you're not going to Swift and you're just, something I said was like, hey man, if that crazy bitch can do it, I can do it too. Because you can. It's so easy. And yeah, you're going to have some really bad days, just like you would at any other job. It doesn't have anything to do with Swift. That's just life. Every day is not going to be a good day. There are some days my family's calling and I'm like, look, motherfucker, I can't talk right now. And that's not an exaggeration. I really do say that. There's some days where I just want to curl up in a ball and cry, but there's not many of those. I can count those days on one hand. Granted, I haven't been doing this that long, and but my hands are really small. And I still got 5 fingers. Those days are few and far between, honestly. And then of course when you get your paycheck, you're like, okay, it wasn't that bad if you think about it in a positive manner. So, when you get your loads, it's going to look like you're going to go from point A, B, C, all the way into your final destination. Ultimately, that's what we want to do, right? Because then we get our paperwork, we scan it in, and then we get paid. Sometimes, when you get to where you're going, you're going to have to do some extra shit. That happened today. First of all, I could have been there last night. I should have been here in Idaho last night, but I'm in a brand new truck that I've put 2,248 miles on, by the way, and I haven't even had it a full week. People like to fuck with Swift trucks and drivers. I keep looking at the light. That's what I'm looking at. I was bobtail the other night. There was no truck stops on this mountain I was on, so I pulled over, slept in a rest area. That's like the second time I've ever done that. I don't like staying at the rest stops. It's just not safe. You just don't do it. Especially being a female, it's like not safe. But I was bobtail. Now granted, when I got there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there was only like 2 other trucks parked there. But something in the back of my mind told me, bitch, if you put this bobtail in this spot where a whole semi with trailer and everything, can be parking, somebody's going to fuck with you. I knew that. I should have listened to it. I didn't. Whether I have a trailer or I don't have a trailer, it really shouldn't fucking matter. We all got to park somewhere, right? Okay. So, hold that thought. I'll be right back. Hey, sorry about that. They needed my ratchet strap. So, I'll make another video with a list of things that you really need to have on the truck with you. And you would probably say, how is that your problem? You work for Swift. It's Swift's job to get it from point A to point B. Sometimes you need stuff like that. I've had to leave my shipper, go pick up loading poles, which I didn't even know what the hell that was. There's a list of things that you should have on the truck with you. But luckily, I had that, so I just give it to him, and he goes and does his own thing, which means they're almost done. So, let me get to the point here, because y'all know I can ramble. yes, you're a driver. That is your main thing that you do, right? But sometimes you're going to have to do a lot more than just drive. For example, today I showed up to Lowe's. I came from the distribution center out in Oregon. I get to Lowe's. They have 3 docks. The middle one has the empty Swift trailer that I'm going to be taking away with me that's getting loaded right now. I have a load for them, so they told me put it in number 3. So I put it in number 3. I put the kingpin on it, do all this fun stuff because you don't know when they're going to get to it. I hook up to 2. I take my break real quick. I go to pull out. This guy comes chasing me down. Oh, by the way, they were supposed to tell you, I actually need you to put that loaded one in 2. That's the dock that we like to use. So I was inside there because I had to get the key for the kingpin lock. Those other 2 docks work perfectly fine. But for their own personal preference and for ease of their job, they only like to unload from 2. And this place was next door to a Walmart that doesn't want you parking anywhere near where their people can go in and out. So, bitch had to fucking park so far away. Drop my trailer, come back, move, undo the kingpin lock, move that trailer, put it in 2, put the kingpin lock back on, go get my trailer. I get back in my truck, and I swear you not, the guy comes running out again. I'm real sorry. Do you mind? Do you think maybe you could move the one that's in the first bay over to 3 where you were? Now at this point, this is out of Swift's contract because that wasn't it was a Lowe's trailer. But the Lowe's guy don't know what happened. The fucking trailer's been sitting there. The damn thing was rusted, and I moved pretty fast. That's not bragging. Those are just facts. I moved pretty fast. I said, fuck it, whatever, just do it. So sometimes you're going to get asked to do some things that are technically not part of your job. Just do it, because in the end it pays off. That shit gets back to Swift, and, you know, the people pay attention. You don't think people are paying attention because you're out here all by yourself, but they are definitely paying attention. Now, where I'm at now, there's going to be a lot of places where you roll up and you can see the main building. You can always see the main building because customers got to see these places. Where are the lights green? So let me wrap it up. Y'all, when I say I had to back this truck around curves 6 fucking blocks to get to where I was supposed to go because there was no sign for shipping and receiving, I had to because it was impossible to turn around and do a U-turn. So, I'll finish this video in a little bit. What up, YouTube? Alright, so I know I look different. It's a different day. I tell you, trying to make these videos is hard work. I can't even imagine doing all the editing and all that jazz. I just don't have time for it. But, I don't even remember where I left off yesterday. So much has happened in the last 24 hours. So, I think I was talking about, you know, when you come out here, just know that sometimes you're going to have to do extra stuff. And sometimes you're going to need extra stuff. And you don't know that you're going to need some of the stuff until, like, so we all know my first mentor was 50. I watched every single one of his videos, and he had done a video about stuff that you need to have when you go on your truck by yourself. I made that list. I brought all of that stuff and then some, and I've come into situations where there's even more stuff that I've needed. I've been being loaded, and I've had to unhook, let them finish doing their thing, run to the nearest truck stop, go get whatever it is that they needed, come back. And, you know, a lot of people will complain and be like, oh, this is bullshit, they should have told me, blah, 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 blah. when you get your trips from Swift, they give you so much information. I mean, sometimes they give you too much information. It's just like paragraphs and paragraphs of all these rules, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. But at the end of the day, we're just here to drive and get the merchandise from one point to the other. Yes. But don't come out here thinking that that's your only job, because that is not the case. I probably spend just as much time outside of the truck as I do inside once I get where I'm going. And then we have instances like, yesterday where I think that's where I left off. So the sign for shipping and receiving literally was a tore out spiral notebook piece of paper, not even with Sharpie, probably with the same big pen that I have right here. It said shipping and receiving. Some truck driver had taken out their sign. So, they technically made a sign, not one that any driver could see from so far away across the street. So that's why I winded up having to back the truck. Sorry, my hair is a hot mess because of my headset. I had to back the truck so fucking far. People were coming out, because anytime people see a Swift trailer tractor backing up, I mean, they get their cameras out. They get their cameras out, because that's how Swift filmed videos. That's how you make those videos. People just catch you doing some stupid shit. Is it safe to back the truck? You should never back unless you absolutely have to. That's what they teach us. Your optimal goal is always to be safe. In that situation, on a dead-end road, the dead ended at the mountain, like literally on the other side of the dead end. They had one of those little striped wooden thingies that, what the fuck am I trying to say? There was a wooden sign, basically, don't pass this part, because the mountain was right there. If I would have gone around that thing, I would have been in the dirt. I would have got stuck. I would have had no traction. It would have been a mess. And it was a one-way street on a curve, and it dead-ended. Should I have tried to turn that truck around, there would have been no room. No room. And literally, sometimes, you can go on the grass or go over a curb if you have to, as opposed to backing up. But CBS had fake grass. Not fake grass, but they laid their own grass. It was this weird green that doesn't grow naturally. Sod, that's what I'm trying to say. And they literally had signs, don't walk on our grass. So I'm pretty sure if I would have taken my tractor and drove all over their grass, Swift would have got a nice phone call. So at that point, I could have jackknifed and tried to get out of there and got stuck and wasted my whole fucking day and been on Swift failed videos, or I could use the tools that I have been given from 2 mentors that were really good, and even going back to my backing instructors at the academy and just believing that I could do it. I backed that trailer all the way around one curve, and then it S'd and came back the other way. And of course there was cars parked. This asshole that was parked like right on the freaking peak of the curve, but I did it and got out of there safely. So if people were taking videos, hopefully y'all see that video, because that was, whoo, my back was sweated. I'm not even lying. That's probably the hardest thing I've had to do thus far in these 3 months that I've been solo. And then where they wanted me to back the damn trailer into was just as difficult. You had to back it from the street. You had to hold up traffic. It was a whole thing. But when you get out here, you're going to have to back in a bunch of crazy places. Today, I was literally at a berry farm. A berry farm. And it was a cute thing here in Oregon. It was cute. They had like a little, you could actually go out into their farm and pick your own berries. And then there was like a little cafe. It was a whole thing. It was really, really cool. wasn't a place for a tractor trailer, but they needed packaging supplies because they're big business. So we made it work. During making it work, my pigtail, which is your electric line, it runs the electricity from your tractor to your trailer so that your lights work and people can see your signals. Well, my pig line had to be replaced yesterday, and that was another part of the story I was going to get to yesterday. So the reason why I don't stay at at rest stops, they're dangerous. They're just dangerous. They're not cool. And let me tell you, coming to Swift, you're going to hear it, and you're fixing to hear it from me. People are going to fuck with your truck on purpose. They're going to do it. This is the first time it's ever happened to me, and it probably won't be the last. But that's what I was talking about yesterday. Now it's coming back to me. So I was bobtail, parked in a fucking truck lane, whatever. But I'm gonna be safe no matter what. Granted, what happened to me was very safe, but it is what it is. I'm gonna make sure that I do what I'm supposed to do legally, and at the end of the day, if something happens, at least I did the right thing. So my electric line and my airline, my emergency airline, they were cut. And so I had to drop the trailer there at Lowe's, go to Love's. They had me in and out, no big deal. They replaced both lines. And the guy at Love's tied up, all three of the lines go from the tractor to the trailer. He tied it so tight that I had no slack. I could barely had enough slack to hook it to the trailer. And I told him, I said, dude, this is too tight. I said, some turns I have to make, that thing is going to snap right off. Oh no, it's going to be fine. It wasn't fine. Because today at the farm, I had to damn near jackknife the trailer to get it to go. I didn't have but this much room to put that fucking trailer, and there's shit everywhere. So sometimes you have to maneuver this trailer and tractor in a way that is necessary to get the fucking shit done. So hyperextending the tractor, I saw the electrical line out of my driver window. It's a bright green fucking hose. It just goes flying. And then this guy that was there, that was gonna unload the trailer, he said, hold on. The whole fucking socket came off the trailer. Well, I had already told the guy there was not enough room. I was pulling just to hook up to the trailer. You shouldn't have to do that. So I call Swift, or On-Road. It's kind of like OnStar, but it's like for trucks. It's called On-Road. And they send the mechanic out there, and he looked at my lines. He was like, who did this? And I said, Love's in Idaho. So anyways, he undid the tightest that zip tie that he had, that my cords all wrapped up with, was so tight I couldn't even get scissors in there to even cut it. And I don't have a box cutter. I think now I might invest in one. I didn't think I would ever need a box cutter on a truck, but it would have come in handy. So anyways, shit happens. Shit happens. This is a brand new truck, right? Y'all saw the video. Brand new truck. I think today is a week I've had it. Yesterday was a week. And it has now, it started out with 12 miles. Now we have 2,627. It was a good week. Today, my brake pads, I could smell that something was burning. And my truck wasn't stopping very well. I am maxed out. Well, I just dropped this load. It was T-called here. Sometimes when you get your GPS navigation stuff through the Qualcomm, I'm saying sometimes because this has never happened. Not with either mentor, not by myself. It's never happened. So I'm going to just say sometimes because obviously it happens. I was at the shipper. I was ready to get going to my next location. I go to dispatch. I hit the next location. It's grayed out, which I've seen before. And then I go to get the route. It says center of zip code, whatever the zip code is for Toledo, Ohio, or where the fuck am I? Oregon. And I said, center of zip code? What the hell? So, you know, I go in there, I type the business, doesn't pull it up. I physically type the address, still doesn't pull it up. So I called the driver leaders here in Oregon. I said, hey man, like, do you have like a landmark, any kind of address that I can put to where I can get close to this place? And he's telling me, oh, you go down Highway 20 business to go east this. I said, look, dude, I'm from Houston. I'm not from here. I need landmarks, businesses, something I can put in here that can get me in the general vicinity. Then you can start telling me all that stuff. And then he was trying to figure it out. They had 13 people dispatched to go to this place that doesn't exist. Y'all, I couldn't make this shit up. It just doesn't exist. It does not exist. I'm going to see if it's still in here. Hold on one second. It doesn't fucking exist. So I had to T-call the load. Yeah, here it goes. Watch, I'm going to turn it around. All right, Georgia Pacific. It's grayed out. Sometimes that happens, and usually you just click on it. Look at that. Center of zip code. And then, even then, if you hit map, that's what it gives you. Nothing. So, if you're solo, like me, you get a map that literally doesn't even know where the fuck to send you, you call the driver leader. Typically, you call the driver, you want to try to get the numbers of the driver leaders and trip planners of the area that you're in. Because obviously if I called my people in Houston, they're not going to know what to fucking do. So I called this guy. He looked it up on Google Earth. He had me type in some different places that are around that area. My GPS was not... All 13 of us that got dispatched to go to Georgia Pacific in Toledo, Oregon, we practically all showed up at the same time. We all had to come here and T-call. So, these are just some of the things that are going to happen when you're out here. In a perfect world, we would get our load, we would do our trip plan, we would go, and 90% of the time, that's how it goes. Either you live load, live unload, or you drop and hook. More often than not, you're going to drop and hook. Those are great. I almost never have to talk to driver leaders. Almost never. I can't even tell you the last time I talked to the people in Houston. Because of the way I travel, I'm always all over the fucking country, and I stay with loads back to back to back to back. So I never have to ask to be dispatched. As soon as I send my empty call from whatever load I'm on, it deletes those dispatches and sends me my next load. So I just keep rolling. The only reason this one is still here is because I was down to 21 hours, which is only a shift and maybe just say a shift and a half. And because of the kind of loads that are coming out of Oregon with big miles, I did a few small ones yesterday and today, and I said, look, okay, this is great, but where's my miles? All of them are leaving out early Sunday morning. So instead of picking up a load, then having to wind up resetting halfway through, I'm going to have to reset this pay period anyway. I always have 1 day reset each pay period. So it was just smarter for me to go ahead and reset now. That way I can just pick up that load at 6 o'clock on Sunday morning and just stay busy all the way up until miles go in Wednesday at midnight. So learning how to work your clock and work the miles Super important. I can't stress that enough. They actually had me assigned a load, and it was going to pick up at 2 o'clock on Sunday at Lowe's again. And with that account, you cannot be late. They don't play that shit. They don't play. But I'm 2 hours away from where I got to pick up the load from the Lowe's. And then it was going to be, but my clock wouldn't reset until 3:01 on Sunday morning. So I had to go in there and tell them, hey, this load is not going to work unless you can wiggle around. Sometimes they can wiggle the pickup and delivery windows, but with Lowe's, they don't. They're too busy for that shit. So I got another load, same Lowe's, for 9 o'clock going back to California. So the driver leaders and trip planners, in my experience, and I have now been, Idaho was my 36th state that I've been to in the 3 months that I've been out here solo. It's 2 full months. I'm just starting my 3rd month. I've been to 36 states, driven through like the entire fucking state of 36 states, and have dealt with all of these different Swift terminals and their, trip people. I've never had a problem. They help you as long as you want to keep rolling. Now, if you want to, be like, okay, well, I'm tired, I gotta stay in the sleeper forever. I'm always waiting on that clock. I'm waiting for it to say, okay, bitch, you can go now. I'm always up waiting for the clock. That's how you want to be. And, have a good mindset. You can come out here and make a lot of money. I mean, I make money, but I stay moving. If I have to reset early, like I did today, I've done it before. It's more beneficial to me and my paycheck to do certain things, and you will learn to do what works for you. Now, I had a subscriber ask me, he said, oh, I'm only making, $500 with my mentor. What are we doing wrong? And the first thing I told him, it all depends on how your mentor runs. So what I can say is, if you have a mentor that just likes to do bare minimum, it's just there to collect the extra money they get for having you on the truck, just suck it up. I mean, get your 200 hours out of the way. When you go solo, the issues that you have with your mentors, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. When you go solo, you do what works for you. One of my mentors thinks that he has, trucking figured out, and his way is the only way and the best way, and this is how trucking should be done, and blah, 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 fucking blah. That's not accurate. It works for him. And if it works for you, then that's fine. But you are going to figure out what you learned from your mentors and what you didn't learn from your mentors when you go solo. So my advice to those that are with the mentors, or you're going to be coming into trucking, just know it's 200 hours of your life. 200 hours of your life. Keep saying that to yourself. They're going to tell you, oh my God, you don't want to do this. You got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. I had one mentor say, if I take a picture of a mountain from my truck, that Swift is going to fire me, and it's bullshit. Okay, it's all bullshit. Nobody that works for Swift knows Swift better than Swift. Okay? So, don't believe the hype. I've said that plenty of times. It's really cool to watch other people on YouTube. I watch other trucking channels on YouTube all the time. Still do, from the beginning even till now. But don't take that shit as law. Don't take what I say as law. I tell you what works for me. And I'm telling you, you will find out what works for you. Don't let what somebody else tells you, you be like, oh, well, so-and-so said, and this person said this. People are always going to say a bunch of dumb shit. It works for them. Just know you got to do 200 hours behind the wheel. Knock it out. Tune them out. I had fucking earplugs with my second mentor. Sometimes he listened to some music that I just really didn't care to listen to. sometimes, I just didn't want to listen to anything. I keep earplugs on you, man. Just knock out the hours as fast as you can, and wipe the slate clean. When you get your own truck, it's a whole new ball game. You're gonna run into problems that your mentor never told you about. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong your first couple of days solo. You will cry, you will want to quit, you will be like, what the fuck was I thinking? It's gonna happen. But keep pushing forward. Honestly, there's so many good things about this job, at least for me personally. There's some times where I get to see these crazy, just beautiful things, and I'm like, I can't even believe this is my job. Why didn't I do this sooner in life? And there's some days where I'm fucking kicking rocks like, what the fuck was I thinking? So, it's like any other job that you're gonna have. You get what you put in. Whatever you want out of this job is what you're gonna get. But you're gonna fucking work for it. So, I think that's all the updates for right now. I'm gonna be sitting here at Troutdale, Oregon terminal. I'm about to make, my battery is running dead. I'm about to make a steak, sit back and relax, do some laundry, and then I'll be hitting the road again Sunday morning. So keep coming at me with your questions. I'm trying to catch up from the time that I was off. I'm not ignoring you, I promise, if I haven't gotten to you. And thank you all. We're almost to 500 subscribers. That's crazy. I didn't think one person would even pay attention. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you have any questions, concerns, whatever, shoot it my way or don't. Either way, have a blessed day. Peace.